So I was reading a little bit about this, and I come across this story. And thank God this isn't me and Melissa. A young couple went on their honeymoon. And the first night of their honeymoon was a disaster. A young couple had arrived at their hotel to begin their honeymoon. They had made the reservation for the king suite. They were given the keys, escorted up to their room, and they entered in. They were quite surprised. Instead of what they had expected and had thought they were walking into, they found a small room, had very little furnishings, no flowers, no windows, a tiny little bathroom, and instead of the king-size bed, there was just a sleeper couch with a very uncomfortable mattress and a little bar right there, right at the right spot in your back. A tremendous disappointment, full of expectation that they were going to get the king suite. Now they got this little room. So next morning, the sore-necked groom stormed down to the reception desk, began to ventilate his anger, began to speak to them without his SIWC shirt on. The clerk listened to him very patiently, let him ventilate a little bit of his anger, and then she had had enough and interrupted him and said, "Sir, did you open up the door?" "What door?" "The door in your room." "No, I haven't." So he returned to the room, opened the door that he had thought was a closet. And there before his eyes was the most magnificent room that he had ever seen. Fruit baskets, chocolates, flowers, you name it, it was in there. Can you imagine them standing in the doorway of the room that they had overlooked and how nice it was, and turned around and looked at what they had settled for because they refused to go ahead and move on in and press in a little bit? Okay, let me just say this. There is way too many Christians who have married grace, and they get satisfied with that little room and uncomfortable, and they say, all I've had to do is believe, and that's it. But after a while, you're going to get uncomfortable, and you say, that's it. All I got is this little tiny pew, this little tiny mindset, this little tiny ministry. Well, my friend, I'm telling you, have you opened up the door? Have you decided that this isn't enough? And instead of going down and getting angry with God and upset with God, and you say, this is it? This is all you got? Well, my friend, have you opened up the door, and have you accepted even the earnest of your inheritance?